Keep watching Transit TV.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, it's bad to say Samuel, and keep watching Transit TV.
No, I think Kelechi still has a place in the Super Eagles squad, but not necessarily in the starting 11. I think he needs to be in and around the squad because of the experience he brings, the leadership he brings as well. Kelechi is one of the few players that has been around the Super Eagles for the last 5 to 6 years. He's been very consistent. There are lots of things you put together when you're,
Welcome back to the studios. I have my main guys here, Kay and Ugum, my brother. To look at today, we're talking about Super Eagles. You already know Super Eagles qualified for the AFCON 2025 Nations Cup in Morocco with a game to spare. And unfortunately, and against all expectations, lost to Rwanda at home at Uyo, going ahead in that game 1-0 and ending up losing 2-1 to Rwanda. Yeah, I have Ugum and Kay here in the studio to talk about the Super Eagles today. Guys, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Reggie.
Yeah, same here. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, Kay. It's been a little bit. Yes, that game, I watched it all the way beginning to the end. It was quite an interesting game. I don't know, Ugum, what did you make of Super Eagles and Iguavon in terms of the way they approached that game and the way the game actually went with regards to the point that the Super Eagles already qualified before that match?
Right. Like you said, it was interesting. There were a lot of changes. That's one of the first things. I think about 8 changes to the side that had played the previous match. Try to give the new guys, or would I say the guys that have been on the bench for a long time, try to give them a chance to show what they could do. But we know from experience, not just peculiar to Super Eagles, whenever there's a side, a group of players that haven't played for a long time, and you play them together, it always shows. Like, it's always better to have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 changes with the guys that have been playing consistently, so the team chemistry and everything goes together. But when you have wholesale changes like that, and the guys that you're bringing in haven't been playing for a while, this is where that difference lies. In some clubs or in some national teams, some smart coaches tend to cycle players, give even the ones that are not as great as the first team, give them a chance to the first team here and there. They get minutes here and there so that when they come in, they don't come in. You don't bring in 7 or 8 new guys that haven't been playing together to come and play. So that's one factor that I believe affected the team. Second factor that affected the team is that, they had qualified. And this is right bang in the middle of European season where everyone's club is fighting for something, right? All of those guys are playing for clubs that are fighting for something, so they have to take it easy and not just fight. And, So I know that many Nigerians are upset. They say Rwanda is not believable that Nigeria could lose to Rwanda. But football is played 11 against 11, more so in 2024, where you have countries, loaded with talent from different places with different levels of exposure. So Rwanda has given us problems already in the World Cup qualifiers. So we didn't expect to just walk over them just like that. So yeah, those 2 factors I believe affected the Super Eagles. I don't think they played that badly. I just think that the guys that played hadn't played together before, and they also needed to be careful as not to get injured and return to their clubs injured. So that's what I can say about that game.
Oh, I agree with you to a large extent. But okay, let me ask you from another perspective. Like you mentioned, there were a lot of guys that not been featuring for Super Eagles for a while that are featured in that game. And some of them, I think, there are a couple of them from home base. There's Bruno, there's the guy that played for the right back position, and one of the left back as well. What did you make of those players? Did any of them stand out for you? And did any one of them you think that made case for himself to get regular look in by the coach?
Basically, there weren't actually any home-based player in that squad aside from Victor Collins, who was from Nasarawa United.
Yeah.
Aside Victor Collins, every other person in that team is from a foreign-based team. Bruno Onyemechi plays at Boavista in Portugal, and Bright Osai Samuel, who was on the right position, plays for Fenerbahce under Jose Mourinho. So, there was not basically any player who was there, and he came in directly from the NPFL team. So, it wasn't so much of
No, I think people are playing for Super League. They are new, like you mentioned. They are not regulars. They're not like the guy.
They're not regular when it comes to playing for the Super Eagles.
That's what I mean. Playing for Super Eagles.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I was necessarily impressed by any one of them, but I know exactly what their quality is, and I know what they can bring to the team. If they are called upon. But just like Ugo mentioned, the wholesome change was actually where. Igwavon got it wrong. He could have brought in 2, 3, 4 of them to, merge with the players who have been playing together for a while, and it would have been easier. But when you ring the changes and the changes could be seen all over the pitch, it's usually easier. It's usually hard for the team to, put themselves together and have that team chemistry. And that was just so evident in that game. Aside the moment of magic from Samuel Chukwueze, I think Nigeria really had nothing else to show in that game. So I feel like the team, it wasn't a team, it was just a bunch of individual players put together and sent out to the field of play to go and do something. They weren't really playing like a team. So I wasn't necessarily impressed by any one of them.
Yeah, me too. Well, I was, let me not say me as well. The guy, Sai Samuel, the guy that played from the right back, I was really impressed with his footwork, his ability to play football. And Bruno wasn't particularly... He didn't play badly, but there was not really nothing much to think about. Like you mentioned, I don't think the team played badly. The only issue that I found in that team, which has been a problem for Super Eagles for a little bit now, is that transition. We don't have a creative midfielder who brings the teams together. It looks like the players we have at the back, we are even more technically gifted than the ones that are supposed to take us forward. So we'll see most of the game being played in our defense. The defenders are very comfortable on the ball, but when it gets into the midfield, to get that ball, quality passes or quality creation for the strikers was a bit of a struggle. And that's what, like you mentioned, that's why Nigeria could not, there was really nothing to worry the Rwandans, except for once in a while, Simon that came from the left side, maybe 1 or 2 pullouts. But in general, like building play and transiting from defensive position to attacking position, it was a bit of struggle for Super Eagles. That is where I think there needs to be. Looking at it, as okay, it's a systematic problem. There's no system. There's really no way. It looks like there was no plan on how to, take that ball from the back to attack, or the personnel was not. People like Iwobi were on the bench. The guy that was playing, that was giving that role, that had a number 10 shirt on his back. Was even doing more of the Yeah, was doing more, but she was doing more of the. I even came alive when we are under attack. He did some good job defensively with the team, but going forward, there was really nothing much to feed on for the strikers, and that brings me to Boniface. A lot of people are complaining. I remember on one of our shows, the 2 reporters that covered the game, we are really complaining that they were going to stop inviting him. That he has not lived up to expectation. And but I don't agree with that notion, because I'm looking at Boniface, you can see that he's a very, very good player, technically gifted. But like I mentioned, I don't feel that the strikers had anything to feed on. I don't know what you guys think. You think that Boniface probably have been given enough chance? Now it's time for people like Awoni and other people to have their own chance in the Super Eagles, or you think he's suffering from what the team is providing for him?
I don't think with Boniface's case, I don't think it's a case of, him not delivering. I think it's a case of him not getting the delivery. Boniface would definitely give you the results if you're giving him the deliveries. But the Boniface is the kind of striker that loves joining up with the build-up. He's not the Osimhen's kind of striker. And Nigerians are traditionally we know the Super Eagles with Osimhen's kind of striker. The strikers are always in the box. We're waiting for the services to come in for them to deliver. But Boniface wants to join in the build-up. He's just a different kind of striker, and people need to understand that. I think he's just been unlucky his goal hasn't come yet, because I believe they will come. And when it comes, it will come real fast. So, Boniface generally is a very good striker. So if we say stop inviting him, the question is, who else is out there that is doing better than him that you want to start and keep inviting? Believe me, it's the same people who are saying stop inviting him will still crucify the coach when the coach doesn't invite him. You get? We saw lots of people crucify CAF for not nominating him for the CAF Player of the Year award. After everything he did with Bayer Leverkusen, even the year he won the Golden Boots award in the UEFA Europa League. And eventually, with Bayer Leverkusen last season, he went unbeaten in the local, in the league and the cup competitions until the Europa League, where they lost in the finals. And he scored about 20-something goals. So this is a striker who is delivering at his club. If he's not delivering at the national level, then there is a problem. It could be a systematic problem from the national team. It could be a tactical problem. So it's now left for the coach to sort it out. Why is this guy not scoring? Because we cannot solely depend on Victor Osimhen. Should anything happen and Osimhen is no longer fit, let's not forget in 2021, at the AFCON 2021, Osimhen was not fit enough to play. So he didn't go to the AFCON. And we had to make do with the likes of, Taiwo Awoniyi, and I don't even think we had, and yes, Sadiq Kumar. Sadiq Kumar was there. So let's assume now we get into another AFCON, because we're already getting ready for another AFCON, and something happens to Osimhen, because Osimhen has injury histories as well. We need another striker to step up. Who is the most informed Nigerian striker now? It is definitely Boniface. So there's no way you can cast Boniface out of that team. Boniface has to be there, even if he's not scoring. This is the moment Nigerians need to rally around him and be patient with him. We know the goals is in there. He has the goals in him. The goals will come. So no need panicking. I don't think it is time to press the panic button.
Would there anything you think Boniface as individually needs to improve, or that can help him deliver more as expected by Nigerians? Or is it, like Kay mentioned, more of a systematic problem?
Yeah, I think it's more of a systematic thing. And I think that maybe psychologically, because he hasn't scored a goal, he's trying too much to score. I saw at least 2 chances that if he had just calmed down the way he plays at Leverkusen, he would have been able to score those goals. But he snatched at those chances and tried to shoot and miss them. So, yeah, it's the system just needs to be fine-tuned to play to his qualities and get the best out of him. And he also needs to, just take it easy and let the game come natural to him. Appealing to Nigerian fans, just like Kay said, it's important to back our players, encourage him, because the record is out there, what he has done. And so let's get behind him. I know it's easier said than done for Nigerian fans. Many of these guys in the villages and all over Nigeria just got internet access to social media. So they feel that the best way to show your presence is by insulting people. And that's what they enjoy doing. So they go out there after every game and they insult until they're tired. So yeah, if Boniface were to watch this program, I'd encourage him to just relax. A lot of fans are behind him. He should just let the game come naturally. He will come good.
Yeah, but another thing I want to talk about, we're talking about system. He mentioned it that Boniface is very technically gifted. You could see that he can get involved in build-up and can finish as well. What about playing him and Osimhen together from start of the game? Not when the game is almost lost. Then you bring in Osimhen and try to increase the number of presence you have in the attack. What of starting the game that way? Like having 2 of them, Boniface playing behind Osimhen and starting the game. Now, I don't know what you guys. Wouldn't that be a better approach to games, especially for playing against teams in Africa here? What is there any need for two defensive midfielders and trying to protect a defense too much?
It's an approach that any team could adopt, and Nigeria right now could adopt it. It wouldn't be the first time we're seeing a 4-4-2 formation for Nigeria, because we've seen it several times in the past. But it all depends on the coach and how he wants his team to set up. So if the coach says, okay, Osimhen and Boniface could start and we're going to operate with a 4-4-2, this is how we want to do it. I want it to be that the coach has wholesomely looked at the team and said, okay, this is the right balance for the team. This is how we want to operate. Not just because, you want Boniface to score, you begin to think about, change formations. Because somehow, one thing with formation changes is that whichever formation that comes up, there's always a particular position that pays for it. So when you play a 4-4-2, it's either the wingers are the ones suffering for it, either the wingers drop deep into the midfield, or the wingers are not played at all to use a 4 midfield player. So, at the end of the day, someone is actually paying the price. So if you're going to make someone pay the price, make sure that person you are doing it for is worth it, and he's going to show the world that he's actually worth it, and the change was actually, a deserving one. So I don't necessarily think, the Nigerian needs to change formation to get the best out of Boniface, because even in his club side, he doesn't operate in a 4-4-2 formation. But if the coach thinks that the best way to get, the best out of Boniface in Nigeria is a 4-4-2 formation, I don't have any problem with that. Let's go ahead with that and see if it works. If you try it once and it works, try a second time and it works, let's keep going.
But another thing too, before Boom comes in, is it's not, you don't necessarily need to play 4-4-2. You can see, I remember in those days, Aubameyang and Lacazette, you can see play Osimhen to come from the wing, but closer to the middle, and open up play as a winger, but play more the inside of the wings instead of the outside, and still have your setup the way you have it in the back. It's just that two of them are on the pitch at the center. The reason is because that these two people are goal-oriented in their approach to the game, and when the chances fall to them, they're more likely to score it. So that's where what I'm thinking about. But I don't know what you want to say about that.
Yes. My only concern with that would be the makeup of the midfield. When you play both of them together, you are losing a lot in terms of grafting in the midfield, protecting the defense, preventing transition from the other team. It would demand a lot physically from Boniface. I'm not sure whether he's that able physically to match what it would take to play behind or alongside Osimhen and be able to still drop and help the midfield. Technically, yes, he has it. He knows what to do with the ball, knows how to use his body, but the defensive aspect of it and the positional discipline aspect of it, I don't know whether he has what it takes to make it happen. But of course, I'm open to that. Which brings me, I don't know when the question will be asked around coaching for the team.
We're going to get to that very soon. Before we go there, another player I want to talk about is Kelechi Iheanacho. There's also so many calls out there to stop him, but that he's finished for as far as Super Eagles is concerned. And you look at that young man with the kind of talent that he has in terms of finishing chances and getting shots on target. You keep wondering what has happened to Kelechi. I don't know what you go. I know you talked about him a lot in the past. This is a player that finished under 17 and went to Manchester City and played under Pep Guardiola. But of course, whatever happened, he found himself in Leicester, and since then, it's been a little bit of downward spiral for him, both in club and country. And people are beginning to call that his career or his opportunity in Super Eagles for now is done, and they should get more people. And Guavo really highlighted that as well in his press conference after the game. It was almost like he was blaming Kelechi for the loss. Then eventually he called for Nigerians to be patient and support, that he needs support at this moment, confidence and boosting and stuff like that. I don't know how you guys want to look at that situation right there, Ugun.
Yeah, Kelechi is low on confidence, I can see. He's also low. He's also a little slower physically. I think he's put on a few more pounds, and those are muscular pounds. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the tallest guy. I think it is showing not playing the levels of fitness that's required to play in the Premiership is not the same as what's required to play in Spain. And he hasn't. He just started playing consistently for Sevilla in the past couple of weeks. He's played their last two games. So as for talent and instinctive finishing, Kelechi has it. No doubt about that. In fact, he is probably a better goal scorer than Boniface.
Yeah.
Right. So based on what's happening right now, if I were the coach, I'll be using Kelechi more as an impact sub, right? Someone that can come in the last 20 minutes of a game and help you change things because he has high IQ. Has high IQ, can execute a lot with his left foot. But right now, confidence-wise and physicality-wise, he's just not there to deliver what we need. But that's not taking anything away from his talent.
Yeah, okay. What do you make of Kelechi's situation? Where will you come in? Are you among the school of thought that believe that he deserves more backing, confidence, and to help him get back to his best of his form, or you think that based on other players that we have like Abuni and Boniface and Osimhen, that maybe Kelechi's doesn't really have a place in the Super Eagles right now, because these are the two extremes that are arguing right now on his invitation?
I think Kelechi still has a place in the Super Eagles squad, but not necessarily in the starting 11. I think he needs to be in and around the squad because of the experience he brings, the leadership he brings as well. Kelechi is one of the few players that has been around the Super Eagles for the last 5 to 6 years. He's been very consistent. There are lots of things you put together when you're, putting up a squad for a nation like Nigeria, especially going into the next AFCON. So we need someone like Kelechi, who brings the leadership, who brings the experience, and even brings the fun. Because one thing he brings to the camp is fun. He's a jolly good fellow. But aside that, where it matters the most is on the field of play. What does Kelechi offer right now? The truth is he doesn't offer so much because, just like Boom said, before he moved to Sevilla, he wasn't playing a lot. And, the first few games in Sevilla, he wasn't necessarily playing ball. Recently, he's been playing. So, I think it's only a matter of time before Kelechi rediscovers his own ball. I doubt if Kelechi would find that kind of form he had at some point in Leicester City, where he was scoring back to back, because you look at his age and you look at his game, you see that he's become a little bit slower. He's become a little bit slower. He's actually, looking more relaxed, more like, I've won it all. I've done everything I should have done in football, and I'm only doing this to enjoy myself. Sometimes you see that from Kelechi's body language, but you wouldn't blame him necessarily. But I think, aside that, just like Ugum said, he could become an impact substitution. 10 minutes to the end of the game, you bring him on, so that he knows where to run, he knows where to be at the right time, and he knows how to finish. So I think Kelechi is still needed in the squad, because if you drop him and you want to go outside to look for someone else, who are you getting? That's the truth. Who are you getting? It's not like we have one superstar who is buzzing and killing it every other week. And then he's not been called to the national team. Even the Nathan Taylor that was called before the last AFCON, no one can really tell how he's doing at Bayer Leverkusen. He's rarely playing. So why not keep Kelechi, who would bring the experience and as well bring that moments of magic. And Kelechi is also a very good penalty taker. So in moments, just like in a cup tournament like AFCON, you would need your best penalty taker. So I think he's still needed in the Super Eagles squad.
But the only problem I have with that, having an impact player, just like you mentioned there, K, is contrary to what you said, is he doesn't have that drive anymore. So if you are chasing a game, you only need him in the pitch if there is a chance that falls to his feet. But in terms of player that will come in and put defenders under enormous pressure by running at them and trying, or even defending from the front, he's not going to give you that. So it's hit and miss with him right there. And I don't know just like you mentioned, okay, what can be done if it's a mentality thing, whether maybe in his mind he feels that, I mean, I don't have to stress over anything anymore. I just come here, do my thing, and go. So it's a little bit of a problem for the team, honestly, with all his talent and everything that he has, and which we know that he can still offer, he can still bring. It's not the ability, can we get that delivery from him? Can he offer that? Can he consistently, because there are players that in their club size in the past that not really counted upon, but each time they come to the national team, they do everything it takes to impress the fans, to serve the country. So I think the people who are, if he's watching this show, we are backing you, but we need you to kind of maybe work on your mentality and your approach when you come to Super Eagles and give us a little bit more. Because we know you have it, you have the talent, you have, like you mentioned, you can see in the first half, out of nowhere, I don't even know how he took that shot. It was just that, unfortunately for him and for Nigerians, the goalkeeper was just standing by where the shot went. Otherwise, he would have scored a goal in the first half. That was all you could make of him in the 65 minutes that he played in that game. So that's what he can bring to you. He can bring to the game. Out of nowhere, he just gets you a goal. But how many times in a game do you have those kind of opportunities if you don't work for them? And that's where the question is.